Welcome back to the Weekly Pass. We've got Cowboys camp, Urban Meyer, Hall of Fame enshrinees, and a guest, Aubrey Huff. All that and more coming up next.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
I take this song.
Yes!
Oh my gosh. This is what I listen to. Marissa does too. We listen to country music. You do?
Yes!
Oh yeah. See, all I listen to basically is
Bonnie
country
Joe
music.
for the win.
So, I thought since I just got back from Cowboys camp yesterday, why not? Should have been a cowboy. David, do you know the song?
I don't, believe it or not, listen to country music all that much. I'm
Yeah,
sorry to all.
I was
This is a
raised on
classic.
old country music, so this
was-
isn't even that old. I was raised on Merle Haggard and Johnny Cash.
I was going to say, isn't this
Hank Williams
90s?
Sr. Yeah, this is 90s.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I was surprised when I heard this come on
Yeah.
instead of
Oh my goodness, this song is
normal LA music.
perfect.
So welcome back to the Weekly Pass. I'm Bonnie Jill Laughlin, and I'm joined by my wonderful co-hosts David Bloom and Becky Sotero.
Hi.
Thanks for joining me again.
Thank you.
Well,
It's
thanks
good to
for
be
having
back.
us.
Yeah, sorry we were a little late. I had some traffic.
Yeah.
Lovely LA traffic if you're not from Los Angeles. It's
It's-
wonderful. Come
It's
drive
worse
on
in
our,
the summer.
Yeah,
It's
come
pretty
drive
bad.
in our freeways. It's really fun.
Yeah. Or don't stay at home because we don't want you.
Right?
Yeah,
clog
that means
up our
more
freeway.
traffic on 405, 101. Don't drive.
Yeah, but you don't
drive.
have to drive. You have a
Oh, I do
driver.
have to drive.
Listen to this guy
Yeah.
over here.
Okay, I have a driver, but I drive. I actually do drive.
I have a driver. Of course you do.
My mom drives me around. I'm still a child.
He just calls you his driver.
So good.
Yeah, love you, Mom.
Well, thank you for joining us again. We have so much to go over. I actually was at the Dallas Cowboys training camp. We have some photos, and it was great to be out there and see all my peeps. I've been close with the Jones family and the Cowboys since I cheered
Oh, you
back in
look great.
96, and Jerry Jones has been, like a mentor to me, and just been so great, for 22 years now.
Sure.
Wow.
It's been amazing to see, it goes so quick, but it's just amazing
You
to see
don't
from
age.
cheering
22 years? What?
Yeah, that's when I was a cheerleader. So yeah, and it was great. And then tonight is actually Jerry has his party that he does at Nobu.
Oh, great.
Tonight, so I'll be going there later tonight. So yeah,
good.
it's nice. People who don't know, the Dallas Cowboys do their training camp here in Oxnard, California, which is about an hour or so outside of Los Angeles. And it was nice. And then Jason Garrett, who is the coach of the Dallas Cowboys, he was actually the backup to Troy Aikman when I was a cheerleader for the Cowboys.
good.
And it's so neat. So again, I've known him forever too, and I call him Red. No one really calls him Red because that was his nickname back when he played. So,
Sure.
But it was great. We talked a little bit about the Dallas Cowboys. One of my friends who was with me asked, "What's going to happen with Des Bryant? Is he going to get
Yes.
a job?" He's,
Yes.
and Jason was like, "Yeah, he's just too good. There's no animosity here. We love him. Jason loves him. The Jones family loves him. It's unfortunate, what happened, and that he still doesn't have a job quite
But he's set off
yet.
to Cleveland, possibly? Is that
Or the Saints, or
Okay.
I don't know. It's we're in the second week of NFL training camp.
Yeah.
Which, to be honest with y'all, I never thought that he would still be at home.
Sure.
I'm genuinely surprised that he hasn't found a team yet. I mean, I know he's expensive, and I know that's the reason the Cowboys cut him, and they just thought he wasn't producing for what they were paying him. And I
Right.
think teams look at that and they just look at who he is, and yeah, he's a lot of intensity, but he plays with his heart. And I guess a lot of teams don't want to take that
And
on.
that's what it is. I think he's sometimes misunderstood, and I know I've said that before with other athletes, but he really is sometimes that passion and drive and wanting to win. So desperately sometimes can be funneled kind of different way.
Sure.
The energy kind of comes off differently. And then I love Des. He's been great with my charity. He comes out and visits the Wounded Warriors that I bring out to the games and to camp, and he's always been just a phenomenal person. So it was weird, not seeing not just Des Bryant, but not seeing Jason Witten out there.
Exactly.
I
Sure.
mean, that was odd. And then Orlando Scandrick's not there, and David Irving, he's got some substance abuse problems. So there's a lot of, I don't know.
They're
just
shifting.
There was a lot
things-
happening with Dak, which
players-
we wanted to ask you about. The
Yeah.
fans want to ask you about that as well.
Yeah.
What your
Yeah.
thoughts are?
I know. There was, just like the LeBron situation, there is actually a mural in Dallas, and it was defaced, Dak's face, because of what he has said about the national anthem, and that he wants to let people know that he's going to stand. He'll continue to stand, with his hand over his heart, and that he believes in what Jerry Jones has to say. And my thing is, that's his opinion. That's what he wants to do. I stand with that as well, because I'm all about standing for our national anthem, because to me it means more than just what other people are conveying it as. To me, it's the people that I know that have died in the war. So I get very upset when it's, I think there's a different platform to use, and I'll keep it right there. So it's, it's something that's kind of sad. Like, everyone should be able to have their opinion and still be respected. And so, doesn't matter where you stand on this, but he, chose to say this, and now, people are coming out.
Well, it's the perfect example that they want to hear your opinion if you're on that side, if you're on their side.
Right.
But he gave his opinion.
My thing is that, you respect people's opinions, whether you like it or not, but everyone's opinion could be right or could be wrong.
Absolutely.
There's not really a right or wrong. Everyone can be right in their...
That's the whole point of opinion, yes.
Right, but you don't need to be, belittle them or not respect them, because my thing is, you have your opinion as long as you're educated in your opinion. But if you just say, this is why, give me a reason why, and then I'll respect you.
And he gave a reason, and they just could not let it go. Let the man play, and just let it go.
Yeah, and he's very, very, people don't get it. A lot of people who are very patriotic and really have a love and passion for our troops, like myself, we take it offensively, and that's our opinion, okay? And then there's people who have their opinion that they think that the civil rights, and that's how they want to do it. I just think there's a different platform, because people are confused on why they're kneeling. So that obviously isn't a good platform, is what I'm saying. So let's use a different one, is what I'm saying.
Preach it, sister.
Anyways.
No, it's so good. People are loving. No,
that's just my, and again, that's just my opinion. You can hate me for
debate.
that, but I've lost a lot of my friends in the war, and that's why, to me, even when they play the national anthem, I get emotional about it.
Yes.
So when I see people disrespect our flag and disrespect our men and women who fight for our freedom we have every day, I get a little bit.
No, you nailed it.
So, do we have Aubrey on the phone already? Aubrey?
Yo.
Wow.
We do.
Huff Daddy, what are you just going on? I was going on my little about my little tyrant about players kneeling for the national anthem. So sorry, that was me kind of going off.
Don't apologize.
How are you doing?
No worries. Yeah, I'm doing good. We're live right now, huh?
Yes, we are. So we got
Welcome.
my good friend, two-time world champion for the San Francisco Giants, Aubrey Huff, a.k.a. Huff Daddy, and a good friend of mine, and I'm so glad to have you on the show, Aubrey.
Well, thank you. By the way, I'm 42 now. Huff Daddy's dead.
Oh, is it dead? Okay, I wasn't sure if people could just still say that or not.
I know, right?
That was a midlife crisis name, I think.
So now it's good that we can just call you Aubrey?
Now you can just call me H. Diddy.
Oh, all right.
It's a new crisis.
Wow,
it's
the evolution of this
after
nickname.
midlife crisis.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
Stupid. Okay.
No, but
what's up, lady?
We're so happy to have you on. It's it's funny. We were talking a little bit about like the clubhouse and in the MLB, and when you were with the Giants, Aubrey, you and Pat and so many of you, Aaron Rowan, even Juan Uribe with the Latin guys, that you guys were so good about pumping up these clubhouses. And right now, if you look at the Giants, and Boch would agree when I speak to him, it would be nice to have you guys kind of in there, because chemistry's kind of off with the Giants.
I was in Scottsdale when the Giants were playing the Diamondbacks last weekend, and so I was able to get on the field with a buddy and his couple kids, and I was able to talk to some of the guys, talk to Boch, and he had mentioned that, man, the clubhouse dynamic, man, is the one thing he's learned over the years is, it doesn't really matter so much the talent on the team. Yeah, talent goes so far, but when you have a group of guys in the clubhouse that's easy to manage, that kind of manages themselves, and that team in 2010 we kind of did, because we were just a bunch of jackasses, all of us.
But I love that. Yeah, but it was
great.
great.
In common, and we loved each other. We loved going to the field every day, and we had fun. We took our business serious on the field, but in the clubhouse, we just had a blast. And there wasn't a day where I didn't want to get to the field early and leave as late as I possibly could. I just loved being a part of that family.
But it was great, Aubrey. You were able to get the young guys. You played a role where you were able to get these young guys kind of motivated. And, I think the Giants are kind of lacking that, not having guys like you who have actually, even there's veterans there, but they haven't really filled the roles that you and Burrell and, Wilson, you guys had.
Well, we had an edge to us. There's no doubt about it. With Pat and Brian, those guys, and I've known Pat since college, and there's an edge about him. And he actually kind of, when I came to college in Miami, I had no edge. I was unconfident. I was kind of a Texas mama's boy, and he taught me a lot about edge in college, and it kind of brought me up to the big leagues, and kind of that I learned a lot from him in that way. Brian Wilson, just Brian,
Yeah,
and that's all about edge. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of great leaders on the Giants. Buster being one of those guys. He's a great leader, but he's a quiet leader.
Right.
And sometimes you need to go in there and jumble it around and just, have some fun and really loosen up the clubhouse. And that's the one thing I brought to the table. And I really enjoy keeping the clubhouse loose, running around in my underwear and, walking around next in front of the reporters. And, it kind of takes the stress off. The game's a tough game. And, if you let it get to you mentally and, it can take you over. So I try to do as much as I can in the clubhouse to have some fun.
And we're showing some pictures of the 2010 World Series, and that's my favorite team, Aubrey. I mean, it was just such a fun team, all the different characters and guys that you had, and it's funny. I mean, you guys actually won that division on the final day, and you had a big hit in that game against the Padres, if you remember.
Oh yeah, that was up to that point in my life. That was the biggest hit of my life. I mean, I've been in last place with the Rays and the Orioles for 9 straight years, being in the bottom of the American League East basement every year. And at that particular moment, I remember hitting a double against the Padres and put us up 2-0. And with the bullpen we had at that time, I knew it was over. But that 2010 team, and I know we're having I think at the end of this month, a reunion in San Francisco. And I know Pat and I will be there, and I think Freddie Sanchez, a lot of the guys. And so I'm looking forward to seeing all those guys and just to kind of reflect on just how fast it's been. I mean, I can't believe it's been, it's been 8 years since that's happened. It just seemed like yesterday.
Now, the Giants didn't make any moves before the trade deadline, but in 2010, we got Burrow off the couch and traded for Javier Lopez and Ramon Ramirez, and then even got Freddie Sanchez and I think Cody Ross off of waivers. I mean, it's crazy to see like how without those different people, how might have been different in that 2010.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But I mean, when you really, crunch the numbers and you really look at the team, I mean, yeah, we had offensive guys, a bunch of misfits offensively, but when you look at our starting staff and our bullpen, that was everything. I mean, you only go as far as your pitching takes you and your defense. We played good defense and we had amazing pitching from top to bottom. And we had some offensive guys that can run into a couple homers every now and then. And Boch loves that 3-run homer. He always talks about it.
Right.
But in San Francisco, playing in San Francisco, that's tough to come by sometimes because of the park. But yeah, I mean, our 2010 team, the pitching staff was just electric. And if you score 3 runs, the game was over.
Right. I know it's hard to pick, but which win was sweeter? Was it the 2010 or the 12 win? I mean, for Giants fans, it's 2010 because they've been waiting a lifetime to finally get that win in San Francisco. But for you personally, was it hard for you to pick?
No, not at all. 2010 was by far my favorite. I was actually a starter. I had a fun year. It was just the first time I've ever been to the playoffs, and I won my first World Series. And you just can't replace that. And in 2012, I mean, you guys know, I went through anxiety, depression, and all this stuff. And I'd lost my job to Brandon Belt, and I was on the field celebrating that that 4-game sweep in Detroit, and I was just half-assed in the celebration. I could have cared less. I was so screwed up in my head, and I knew that was my last game that I would ever be a part of. So I mean, it wasn't even close for me. 2010 was, beyond. I mean, I don't even really wear my 2012 ring because I don't feel like I earned it.
The 2010, I remember during the parade, Aubrey, you had the rally thong of holding that, and for you guys who don't know, that was kind of what Aubrey can talk to you about it, but it was something that kind of the rally thong, and it kind of like motivated him and the team and the clubhouse, and he had that on the trolley during the parade.
I'm intrigued.
Wow.
Well, I know for a fact a lot of the players and the staff wouldn't, they would intentionally not eat lunch before they come to the clubhouse just so they don't see me in it. It wasn't pretty. I'm what you call a skinny fat guy. Like, it looks really, really good on the outside of the clothes on. When you take it off, it's just a complete mess. So
it's called a dad bod now, actually.
What'd you call it, Becky?
It's called a dad bod.
Yeah.
Well, Aubrey has 2 boys. Yeah.
Pat, I do. Pat always told me, he goes, Aubrey, it's almost like when you're wearing that thing, it looks like you've been over in a hailstorm.
God.
That's great. It's too much.
Becky, I'll let you take.
Oh my goodness. Hello. Pleasure to meet you, Aubrey. I wanted to ask you about the defensive shifts that are happening now in the league and how that's affecting power hitters. Can you speak on that a little bit and that effect?
The what's affecting them?
The defensive shifts that are happening just in the league in general and how that's affecting power hitters. I know that, there's some strategic things that they're doing defensively and how that's affecting the power hitters. I just had wondered if you had any thoughts about that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, when I first came up, there was no such thing. I mean, I never saw a shift. And I was usually hovering around 290, 300 earlier in my career. And when they started shifting me to the right side, I mean, it devastated my average. I mean, I went from like a 300 career hitter to 275 in my career. It'll definitely mess with your psyche. I mean, to be honest with you, I think it should be illegal.
You're not alone. There's a lot of power hitters that think that.
Oh, no, I know. I mean, when you take, I know they say to preach going the other way, and it's easier said than done with the pitchers, because the pitchers are so good. They're going to throw you inside. How are you going to hit the ball the other way?
Sure.
And that's it's tough to go the other way when they're pitching you in there. So you either hit a home run and pull it, or you just hit it into the defense. And it's just something real. You do everything you can to hit the ball as hard as you possibly can. And, I've hit balls, smoke balls to the right side that are hit anywhere, but you have the shift on, they're just out. And it's tough. It's a tough deal, but it works. It works for the defense, but it definitely changed the game, and it made it really frustrating for especially left-handed hitters.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. Hey, Aubrey, David here. I just want to talk to you about maybe more like just general baseball. I know we talked a little bit about the Giants and how they have guys like Longoria and McCutchen, but still can't win like they did in 2010, 2012, and even 2014. But I just want to get your opinion on some of the big contenders, maybe more looking. I know you finished your career in the NL, guys like teams in the NL. Who do you think really has the edge in the National League right now?
With LA's money, I mean, it's tough. They just go out and get whoever they want, right? They're basically the Yankees of the West Coast, and they're going to be tough to beat in the long run. I know they started off slow, and they're just kind of still not really, taking off in this division. I mean, but I think in the end they'll catch fire and do what they do. But I don't think it really even matters for the National League. When you look at the American League with the Red Sox and Astros, who cares? Anybody in the National League is not going to beat any of those teams in 5 or 7 games. So it's almost like why even worry about who's going to win the National League? It doesn't even matter. It's irrelevant.
It's like the NBA Eastern Conference.
Right.
It doesn't matter who's going to win. They're just going to run into the Yankees or the Warriors or the Red Sox, and it's going to be too tough for them. Sure. Yeah. I also want to get your opinion then on the AL. I know you spent some time in the American League. Do you think it's the Red Sox? It's just going to be the Red Sox, or do you think there's any other contenders for them, like maybe the Astros and the Mariners?
Oh no, the Astros are going to be. I mean, they're defending world champions. I mean, you got that pitching staff in Houston, and I mean, my gosh, the Yankees are going to be there all year. Yep. I know I think they've lost. I haven't been keeping up with a lot of baseball.
Yeah, the Yankees.
Guys, but
they just got swept. Sadly,
they're like 9.5 games back of the Red Sox. The Sox are really taking that division. Like they really have it under lock.
But it's the Yankees. Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, they won it. When was the last time the Yankees won it? 2009. Like, come on.
Ooh.
Yeah. Well, when you put the Red Sox up against anybody right now, it'll be tough. I think Red Sox right now, if you were to do a 7-game series just for the Red Sox and Astros alone, the way the Red Sox have been playing, I got them in like 5 games. That's how good they've been.
They've been amazing. Yeah, they've been. I mean, they just traded for Ian Kinsler from the Angels, and the Red Sox, as well as like a lot of other teams, have been like buying, and that's what you do as a contender. And teams have been selling. So I mean, it's gonna be really interesting.
Now, Aubrey, for our listeners who kind of don't know, I mean, I know your whole story, but can you tell our listeners a little bit about your story, like where you were raised in? I know that you were basically raised in Texas, but kind of like your story where you're drafted and so forth, because I know our listeners are asking about that.
Yeah, I grew up in, actually I was a 300 career hitter in high school. I was actually better in high school at basketball than baseball. I hit 1 home run my senior year. I hit 300 with 1 home run.
Wow.
And my dream was to become a Major League Baseball player. And I didn't get a scholarship to any baseball team. And I was actually going to take a Division II scholarship to some school in Kansas to play basketball. And then I was like, well, I'm, probably not going to be an NBA player. I'm only 6'4", so that's not going to help. And so I decided to walk onto a junior college at Vernon, Texas. I gained 30 pounds in one off season. Came out of high school 180. I gained about 30 pounds. And my swing, which was nice in high school, I just gained some weight, and I hit 17 home runs, made all conference. And then I went my sophomore year, right to the University of Miami, made All-American then, my junior year as well, and got drafted. Just kind of took off out of nowhere. So, I always tell kids this, or high school or what have you, I don't care what it is. If you don't think that if you love what you do, go find a way to make it happen. There was no evidence of me being a Major League Baseball player out of high school. None. But I continued to push for my dream and kept working hard, and it eventually panned out. So just don't ever give up on what you love to do.
I love that.
Oh,
That's
so
great. Yeah, and you won 2 series.
Good. Yeah.
I know, right?
You got 2 rings to show for it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
Aubrey, we play this little game before we let you go. It's called This or That Becky does. Are you up for playing that? I know you always are down for stuff like this. It's a fun game. It's nothing crazy.
So I'm always up for like a truth or dare.
Yeah,
Yes, yes.
It's kind of like that.
Yeah, it's like a rapid fire game. So I'll say two things, and you say which one you prefer. All right, you ready?
Give them hard
Okay.
ones.
Oh
Becky.
gosh. Okay, I'll give you some hard ones. We'll start with Vegas or Vatican.
Whoa. She's coming in hot.
Vegas.
Vegas. Okay. East Coast or West Coast.
East Coast by far.
Ooh.
Wow.
And thank you for joining our show. I'm just kidding. Early bird early bird or night owl?
Early bird.
All right.
Nowadays. I used to be an out night owl.
I know.
It's
I
more
was
of an early
like,
bird
it
now.
changes
It's
how you get older.
the mentality changes.
When you get older,
it's
it
definitely
changes.
true.
This one's hard for me because I'm so hungry right now. Taco Tuesday or Delivery Pizza Friday?
No, Taco Tuesday. I'm partaking in that tonight.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Tom Hanks or Tom Brady?
Tom Brady all day and twice on Sunday.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Wow, that's distinctive.
yeah.
All right,
Wow.
this is one of my favorites. Angels in the Outfield or Field of Dreams?
Is that even a question?
Come on.
Yeah, I
Yes.
know. Angels in the
Come
Outfield.
on.
That was a bus movie.
No, it was.
Field
Come
of-
on.
Field of-
of Dreams.
That was Matthew
Yes.
McConaughey's big breakout, but I will say Field of Dreams.
Okay, perfect. Well, no, Angels in the Outfield is a
it a
fan
good-
favorite. And actually,
No.
a fan had asked me to ask you, someone who's on our chat right now, your top 3 favorite baseball movies. sports
Major
movies.
League, The Natural, and Field of Dreams.
Oh.
Good,
yeah.
man. It's like he
choices.
prepared those. Somebody prepped him. Aubrey, you're so fun. Thank you so much.
Yo, you got it, guys. Anytime you guys want to do it again, I'm always game.
Yeah, and Aubrey, funny, are you still doing your drawing and everything? Because he actually is really good. And he draws like
Wow.
superheroes and like everything. Yeah.
Wow.
Maybe he should draw us like a panda cartoon.
Yeah, I kind of got off it a little bit. Had a kind of a life change going on here the last year, and a lot of moving, and I've got a lot of other things going on right now. So it's kind of taking a back seat, but I got to get back into it.
Yeah, 'cause
It's
you're
really
good.
It's a really good stress reliever for me.
It's therapeutic, right?
It is. It sure is.
So maybe you can draw me and Becky
Oh, yeah,
as like a superhero, perhaps.
Yeah. Capes on you, and maybe some bathing suits with a cape on. That'd be sexy.
Yeah, I like
Yes.
it.
I mean, can I be holding a hockey stick, please?
Yeah, she's the hockey girl.
Oh, there you go.
I'm the baseball girl.
Okay,
She's the
we can
hockey
do
girl. Awesome.
Deal.
Thanks, Aubrey, so much. We appreciate it.
You got it, guys.
And I'll see you
Have
soon.
a great rest of your show.
Okay.
Bye.
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 I love it. He's so
Love him. He was
transparent,
fun.
Like, fun. Yeah.
He's good, and he knows the sports movies.
And
Oh,
also,
He knows his baseball movies,
cannot
which I
be, we
appreciate.
can't be going down on, or saying mean things about Angels in the Outfit because our friends on our little podcast.
I just don't
love it.
remember.
good
Angel-
movie.
I
It's
don't-
alright
You
movie.
know what? I don't even.
You guys
remember-
don't remember this moment?
I just don't even really remember who was in that movie.
It was.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt is like a
Oh,
little
okay.
youngster.
You're like
weird.
you're
Yes.
like a huge fan.
It's that moment at the end too, where like the whole like crowd stands up and they're doing the angel wings. I'm getting chills.
It's. I mean,
Field of Dream, The Natural,
I mean,
and I
nothing,
also
yeah.
like remember the movie with Kevin Costner and Kelly Preston. It was called
which one?
Oh shoot, what was it called?
There's been a lot
Someone
of
help me. It was
I was gonna say
lot of
Tim
Kevin
Cup,
Costner
that's a
movies.
Kevin
golfing one.
Costner and the girl who's married to Kelly Preston.
Okay, we'll look it up. Also, I don't know how Sandlot didn't make that list.
And Sandlot's
Okay,
great.
Sandlot's amazing.
That's a great movie.
Right?
He was right with Major League. Major League is amazing.
Major League is so funny.
So good. All three of them, I will say, are amazing.
For the love of the game.
For love of the game. Thank you, Marissa.
There it is.
That was a great movie.
Marissa, I was
Remember,
right there.
remember he was the pitcher for the Detroit Tigers?
I only saw,
thought
like,
it
the
was
last 10
I thought it
minutes
was
of
a
it.
great movie. Obviously,
Bull Durham is another one
Yeah.
that
Oh,
the
that's
chat
a
is
good
all
one.
about.
Field of Dreams just
and
takes
then
the
you know
cake,
what
though.
other one's really good is gosh, I'm really off today. The girls playing baseball.
League of Their Own.
Thank you.
Yes.
League of
Tom
Their
Hanks.
Own. That was great too.
So
I know it's a
good.
female,
There's a
version,
lot
but
of
it was
them.
good.
Yeah.
There are a lot of them.
But he came out on the fly.
He's probably been asked that
yeah,
before.
I'm sure.
It's a good market. I'm a
Yeah.
fan.
Well,
David's
thank you
fan.
guys in our chat for participating. This is fun.
Yes, I know we talked, a lot of baseball, and there are some other things to talk about
Yeah.
that's going on.
Yeah.
Urban Meyer, I don't know what your guys' thoughts are on that. The fans actually rallied behind him, and they had like a rally at Ohio State, including Ezekiel Elliott's father was actually there. And, he's been placed on a paid administration leave for the wrongdoing of, knowing, kind of mishandling what he knew about the,
Mishandling, yeah.
I guess mishandling is probably the
Yeah,
best word.
that's a really good word.
For the
Domestic-
multiple domestic assaults against
Yeah.
Zach Smith's wife.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's even really can be a thought on it because it's pretty
Right.
black
Yeah.
and white on this. It's upsetting anytime you hear something like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
It kind of brings me back, and I know it's not completely, but a little bit about Joe Paterno and Jerry Sandusky. If you remember,
Yeah.
you're too young, but
Yeah.
Might be a
You know,
little
sure.
too young.
and I know it's still kind of two different things, apples and oranges, but still the fact that when a head coach knows what his assistants are doing and they kind of
Yeah.
look the other way because it's a powerhouse football school,
Sure.
you can't condone that. But I know how the NCAA is, and you know how college football is, but they do look the other way. As long as you're winning,
Yeah.
they don't care sometimes. With,
Oh, it's so
with
true.
these-
But that is-
with- am I right or wrong?
That's so true. As long as you're winning, they don't care.
and maybe
They're-
that's across the board with any sports,
But
right?
that's the
Like,
fundamental issue that we have right now is that people are standing up for the institution over what is right.
Right.
And so the rally.
And another thing that's kind of upsetting that I read is actually was that Urban Meyer's wife knew because
Yep.
Zach Smith's wife had texted her pictures and
Yeah,
told her,
of
and
the
then
bruises
said,
and-
"You need to tell your husband because this is a guy that should not be a role model for children. As a coach, you're a mentor. You know what I mean? Like
It is your duty to stand up for what is right. I don't care how big the institution is, how great their football team is. Like, now look at what has happened.
And I haven't done enough research to know like those were all valid, right? That actually
Yes,
did happen,
yes,
right?
all of it
he's-
happened.
He's already been convicted
Yes.
of this,
Yes.
everything. Okay,
Yeah.
see, it's not one of those where we're still
Well,
investigating what.
Yeah.
No, and
it's-
Urban Meyer's saying he filed the appropriate paperwork. He's saying he did all his
he
part.
did.
However, no one can seem to find it. Ironically, so that's the issue too. Is that
But then it makes
he's
me
lying
wonder
to the media.
when he was at Florida, are there things that happened there too? Again, I'm just
You never know,
I'm just
though.
asking questions.
Of
I
course,
mean,
when we have to ask these questions because look at what is unfolding, and he's probably not going to lose his job. I don't know. I'm just
I mean,
livid,
fans.
honestly.
It's weird to see the fans stand for him because I mean, they're standing for him, but they're standing for like the institution, and they're standing for the school, and they're standing for the program
Yes.
because they like Ohio's. Like they like
Well,
them
of course
doing
they-
good.
they
That's
like
what I'm
winning, and they
saying,
like- yeah,
but
it
at what
just-
point do we stand up for what is right over the institution? Like you say, because it's Ohio State, we're just going to be like, oh, no big deal. We want
But
football
it happens
over.
across the NCAA all
Yeah,
the time.
sure.
College
True.
football, college basketball. We
They
know
like
this happens
when their teams
all
do good.
the time. So I guess we kind of are on the same page with
Yes,
this.
We are.
It's awful.
yeah.
It's disgusting.
But I hate to say this, it kind of is. It is what it is, right?
Yeah.
That's how
no,
that's the
it's-
mentality of it, and it
It's
kind of
true.
just, and then you just keep moving on.
Because there's not. I mean, there's like not a whole lot you can do, especially
He's basically
like.
on vacation right now. I mean, he's on paid administration. I mean, come on.
I mean, looking like from the outside in, there's not a whole lot you can do. So you kind of just gotta sit with it and wait till stuff.
you know
happens.
what? And it's just like a lesson for life that no matter how mad, like you said, just sitting in it, whatever is going on, karma is a bitch.
It
It always
it
comes
eventually-
back around.
It comes around. Maybe
Always.
not how you
Yes.
think it's going to, and maybe not
Always
exactly
does.
the timing. Because sometimes I
Yes.
say, "Can we fast forward karma?"
Yes.
But eventually,
no,
it does.
I am a firm believer
So
in
am I.
justice. So this woman who had to
Yeah.
endure this, justice will find
And it was
itself.
multiple times, is what's upsetting too.
Yes.
upsetting. It's an
and
upsetting
there were like
thing.
several years in between. So I mean,
Yeah.
him having that knowledge, and it's awful. It's and it doesn't stand up for what's. I mean, it can continue to happen
Right.
if we don't do something about it.
And I hate talk about this stuff, but we had to mention it because it is
did.
something that was big in the
It's-
sports
it's-
world.
yeah, it's happening.
Another thing that has happened is Tom Brady walked out on the media last week, and when a reporter asked him if he thinks that his trainer, who he's been good friends with for a very long time, Alex Guerrero, is involved with anything that's going on with Julian Edelman, who is being suspended for 4 games, and Tom Brady actually said, "I have no comments. This is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'm out."
Yeah, he stands
and dropped the
behind
mic
him. Yeah.
and left. So again, it doesn't look good for Tom Brady. He just opened his TB12 Sports Therapy Center,
yeah.
and he obviously doesn't want to be linked to anything like this. And plus, Alex is not just like partner in his new company; it's a good friend. I don't know though.
How do you feel about it? I think it's
don't
okay
know.
that he said no comment and he doesn't want to be involved.
Because here's
Right.
the thing, though.
Yeah.
Like, I think any player has the right to walk out of a press conference if they feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, because there's a lot of times where people who don't know these athletes are kind of forced to be up there on the podium. They have to do these
Oh, my
pressers.
God,
they have
yeah.
to do these posts and pregame.
Yep.
I mean, there's times where when I'm watching a game, I don't want to hear what the coach has to say in the middle of the game and when the game's playing or I'm not personally, and I'm part of the media, and I just think there's times where let these guys play, let the coaches coach. And then there's
or ask implemented questions about the season, and it just media wants to stir up
When
drama.
they get too far and they ask too much, and a player
and sometimes the PR rep who's supposed to pull them, sometimes they'll say no more questions, or they'll kind of,
exactly.
sometimes they're not there to kind of bail him out. And so Tom, because of who he is, he was able to do that. Or,
just take it too far, and it's in some you've seen it, like, it's over history, like. Media just ask players too many things. They should be happy that they get to talk to the player at all.
Right.
To then go on these off-topic questions. Let them talk about. I mean, sometimes even it's after a game, and like when you see like reporters right up
how
to
do
like
you feel?
yeah, like right up to
You
guys.
just lost a championship.
Yeah, like they just played like a game. Like they play their heart out, and they're right there
And with the
asking them
defense
like
of the
serious
reporter,
questions.
they're usually told in their ear by the producer to ask
sure.
that. So
Yeah.
and it's
but
their
just-
job to ask the compelling
exactly.
questions. Yeah.
But no, I feel you. There's times where you're like,
Because like these are guys who like sometimes like just played a game and they're not really thinking straight. Like they're not like complete. They're not.
their
they're not-
steam's still coming out of their head. They're sweating.
Exactly.
They're kind of like all,
So when you ask him
Yeah.
like a weird question like that, like our memory that comes to mind is when James Harden was in LA and he just kind of gave the reporter a look and just walked away. Like he just went through winning a good
but
game.
there is
like,
times where you kind of like, but the player will look at the guy and go. So I
Yeah,
think
like
one time
really-
LeBron,
yeah.
I think Kobe did too. Goes, really, man?
yeah, they all do.
Yeah.
And they walk away.
And then the reporter's like sweating, and he's like, "Oh,
Yeah,
bitty,
yeah.
bitty, bitty,
Mm-hmm.
bitty, bitty." So Tom Brady walked out, and I mean,
I think he handled it how he needed to handle it.
He didn't-
Stay out of
He
it.
handled it how Tom Brady would.
He
handle
knew he
something.
would, if he continued talking on it, like a lot of, this happens to a lot of players, like they don't want to get so far where it just hurts their image. So like, you know what? Walking away.
That's sometimes better not to say anything.
Exactly.
I agree. And again, the media does know when to hard hit. You know,
yeah.
trying to push
They,
those buttons.
Of course.
they push your buttons. Oh, they will.
On a good note, there was the Hall of Fame enshrinement.
There's a
which
good note,
was-
yeah.
which
Great
was
note.
really exciting to watch. I don't know if y'all are able to watch a lot of the speeches. They were great. There was someone missing, Mr. Terrell Owens. T.O.
We've
He
discussed
was
it.
in Tennessee, Chattanooga, where he went to college, and he did his ceremony there. He broke down, he cried, and what is funny about this and ironic is that now the Hall of Fame committee, I don't know if you guys know about this, is now saying that they are going to require the candidates to sign an agreement when they are semifinalists. They're going to have to sign something saying that they will be there
Wow.
in Canton.
I heard about this yesterday.
The Terrell Owens rule, or whatever they're going to call
It's
it.
absurd.
Good for them.
But I mean, it's crazy to even think that someone would not want to be there in Canton, right? Yeah. And my thing is, I was just playing in a celebrity softball game with Terrell, and I've known T.O. before he was T.O. Back when he was with the Niners, and I can respect. Okay, let's say we'll respect what he wants to do. It's his, right to do
Sure,
what he
it's his-
wants.
his
I
career.
just think that if anything, he had such a great platform to be in Canton, and kind of the naysayers and the people that he was trying to, who's trying to prove wrong his entire career, that he
Yes.
could sit there on that platform and talk about, his work ethic, because we all know his work ethic is just, tremendous, and how much his passion was for the game, and what he didn't like, and maybe he treated people wrong, but maybe whatever he was trying to do. I just think it could have been all nipped in the bud right there on stage, and he would have had respect for everyone. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe,
No, sure.
Maybe I'm wrong. I just think that could have been a great place for him to do it, and to to be able to see, who you're there with. I mean, maybe not now, but in a couple years, maybe longer, he's going to look back and go, God, I wish I would have shared that moment with my 2018 class.
Sure.
And being there with all the guys that I looked up to, as a child, who I wanted, who I emulated my game after, and who I wanted to be like. And I think he's going to miss that. I'm sorry. I think he will eventually.
Yeah. But I think it's the Hall of Fame just trying, like the NFL, to just, there's so much rules and they're just mandating and dictating everything. And I think he just wanted to have his own voice and his own opinion, his own way to do it.
But for fans too, they wanted to see him because they didn't no one's been able to see his entire speech yet, I guess. Apparently it's not like they didn't film the whole thing. They've just been bits,
they're bits and pieces.
And I think fans wanted to see the entirety.
Of course.
And I think it would just been nice to see him get his
fans
jacket
look up
and the
to him.
bust in front of Canton.
Yeah, so he didn't get a jacket?
He did, but it was all done in Tennessee.
Yeah, it's still hard for me to imagine someone declining.
I know, same with me.
All of that, because that's such an honor. And it's such, there's so many players, most players don't make it there.
Yeah, and then you look at the guys who wait, like a Jerry Kramer, wait 40, 50 years to finally get in.
Exactly.
They're not bitter.
Of course.
And they're just happy. They'll say, I'm finally home. I'm here. And,
Kramer finally making it. That's such a huge honor.
But if you're going to start saying, well, I'm upset that I didn't make it in on the first ballot, you're going to have a lot of guys not going in, and not one guy's ever done that till now.
I know, sure.
It's
and now they
surprising.
have a rule.
So now, and they haven't done it yet, but I guess they're going to implement this.
Yeah.
I mean, they have to now. I mean, it's just they don't want to cause controversy, and that's such an NFL thing to say. They don't want to cause controversy.
Right.
I see both sides. I mean, they're butthurt because somebody was like, "Oh, I'm not going to go." It's like a slam.
If anyone's going to do it, it'd been Terrell.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised. But it was great. It was, again, if people didn't watch, it was Terrell Owens, Brian Urlacher, who talked a lot about his mom who had passed away. Randy Moss had a really great, inspiring message. Ray Lewis his speech was like 35 minutes. It was so long. Brian Dawkins, which I didn't know this, that he's dealt with depression his entire life. There was time where he wanted to commit suicide and was trying to line up things for his wife to make sure that his wife and his kids, if he died, that everything was still okay. Yeah, I didn't know that either.
But with mental health being such an issue, what a great platform.
And I love that players are starting to come out. I mean, Aubrey spoke a little bit about that. He went through a lot of depression and anxiety during his career. And it's nice to be able to see, for people who deal with it, that these guys are on the top of their career, and you would think they have all the money, they've got the wife, the kids, everything seems perfect, and they're still depressed.
I mean, I just, for him to even say that he had anxiety and depression, that's so, because not a lot of people are willing to talk about that.
They're not willing to talk about it because people always say, I don't want to say that I was crazy, or there's that,
people think
that,
you're crazy,
stereotype.
But mental health is
it's not. It's a real thing.
It's a real
not
thing.
Crazy.
And even when you're at the top of your game, just because you're rich and you are a star athlete, mental depression, depression, anxiety,
it doesn't discriminate. It goes across
doesn't
the
go
board
away.
Everywhere. Yeah.
It does not leave you alone, no matter how good you're feeling, no matter how right everything is in your life, no matter how happy
look
or
at Robin
content.
Williams. Everyone thought that he had everything.
Exactly.
He said he could make everyone laugh except himself.
Right.
It never goes
he was
away.
Never happy. So I
all
thought it
have
was great
demons.
that Brian Dawkins actually used that platform. Also, Jerry Kramer and Rob Rizzo and Bobby Beathard, they were all inducted as well. So that was
It's a nice time of year.
It was nice.
It's nice to see everyone
that.
inducted.
And then you also know that when that happens, football's back.
Yes!
It's time, the Hall of Fame game and
We're so
preseason,
close.
and
right. So
it's all back.
It's fun. So
I'm excited. I'm so excited.
I know. I'm always
I'm
excited
giddy.
when football starts.
I'm ready for it. It's
Who's your team? Because
my team.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Have we talked about it?
I don't think we've ever mentioned that.
I'm
'Cause we
excited.
haven't had a lot of football
Becky is
talk.
Seahawks and Steelers, but who are you?
No, more
Seahawks?
Rams. No, I grew
Are you
up
Rams now?
No, grew up Rams fan.
So no.
Okay, hold on. Let me clarify for the viewers. The Steelers birthed from the Pittsburgh Penguins. I never really was a big fan of the Steelers, so I think that somehow got confusing.
Okay,
The
but
Rams.
but weren't you a Seahawk fan?
No, I'm from Portland, Oregon, so that was the only team that I could
Okay.
actually watch as
Okay.
a child. But I grew
Just
up
making-
See how she was like
a
the
Rams
Seahawks
fan.
now.
I'm just
that they're-
making sure there's no Seahawks here because
No.
I'm.
Of course, you're not be a Seahawks fan. A lot of Seahawks fans aren't going to be fans this year.
But that was,
I mean,
know,
yeah.
right? But that was the only team I could actually watch if I wanted to go to a game. So that's where that came from. But no, Rams all the way. My dad, I was literally birthed the Rams
Okay.
fan.
All right.
Okay, yeah.
All right. Now I have that.
been. I'll answer the question.
Clarification.
Wait,
I've been a Packers fan for almost a decade.
Oh wait, I think
Believe it or
okay,
not.
I did know that.
It
you're
is
a
my
Packers
favorite
fan,
bay.
yeah.
It is my favorite.
That's
bay.
good.
So you're excited about Jerry Kramer?
I'm very excited about Jerry Kramer. I'm excited about the season. Aaron Rodgers coming back. I
Right.
know
Someone
like
thought
Jimmy
you were an
Graham.
Oakland Raiders fan on the chat.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
that's
do
bad.
like Jordy Nelson, but I'm not a
No.
Raiders fan. Don't worry.
It's funny. I
Packers.
actually this week before when I was gone, I was there with the Paralyzed Veterans of America, their games that they have, and Brett Favre was actually played in the celebrity
guy.
wheelchair basketball game with us, and it was great because he's so passionate about the troops like myself, and so it's nice to see him come all the way from Mississippi and be there. He looks like he could still play.
He
by the way,
probably
by
could
the
Were
way,
you even alive when he was?
Brett Favre?
I don't know if you guys,
A whole lot.
I don't know if you guys
Not
saw
a whole lot.
my photo with Brett, but it was I was like I said to him, I said, "Wow," I said, "You look like you could still play," and he goes, "My body don't."
Right. I'm sure.
I mean,
One of the greatest.
He looked good
Yeah.
though. He looked
Yeah.
really good.
even when he was on like the Vikings after his Packers career, like he still had.
He's actually lost. You know how he was kind of
Yeah.
but he's actually like trimmed down and he's like lean and just
Wow.
lost. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he looked really good.
I mean,
so
yeah.
I just had to bring that up. So
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't old enough to like watch highlights of him,
Brett
but I wasn't old enough to watch like Bart Starr highlights, and I still think he's
No,
amazing.
Well, you
love
have to.
your
If you're a
Packers
fan
fan.
of any team, you have to know their history.
Can we wear like you have to wear the cheese head and I'll bring
Oh,
something
yeah,
Rams
for
and
sure.
then
And I wear the
Cowboys.
Niners and Cowboys. I have
Niners,
actually
yeah.
a jersey as Niners and
Yes.
Cowboys.
Wow.
Half
As a
and half.
Packers fan, hearing you Niners and Cowboys,
Yeah,
that's like
cheerleader for both.
It's weird for me because, like, as a Packers fan, like the Niners and the Cowboys.
Their
I mean,
rivalry.
we've done some mean things to the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Like in those last
Des
couple of
caught
years.
it, huh? By the
I
way,
know.
and he
There
did,
you
and
go.
he did catch it. Now they've even made it official that he caught it.
They didn't catch it then.
Gosh.
They didn't catch it then.
Yes, that's still that game haunted me forever. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, not.
But that makes football fun, though.
It makes
You
football
know?
fun.
Rivalries.
I like
rivalries,
it. I
yeah.
mean, I
All
like
about-
Mason Crosby hitting the game-winning field goal. I like it.
Yeah. I don't
She's
know.
hurt. I like it. I like it.
I'll be Switzerland over here.
Good choice.
Yeah, so I mean, I still think that football is one of the best times of the year when
It's the
football's back.
greatest
You know,
time
I
of
love
year.
basketball obviously, and I love baseball, but something about football,
Football
right?
season's amazing. Getting up on a Sunday morning for us 10 a.m., sitting down, putting on Sunday Ticket, and just watching football.
I know.
Like there's nothing better.
It's crazy.
There
and
is
actually,
nothing better.
tomorrow night, the Niners and the Cowboys play. Thursday night, preseason game. So
Yay!
yeah, so all the preseason, which you
Yeah,
know,
it's
Rams
back. I'm
coming up.
ready.
Yep.
yes, and then we start the season the first week in September. So. Be
so
fun. And then we'll
excited.
get more
So
into
ready
football and have our predictions and
football
so
again.
forth. And I don't know if any of y'all play fantasy football.
Oh, I do.
I don't.
Big
I was
time.
thinking about
Uh,
learning about that.
champion last year. I'm gonna say that.
wow.
14,
Becky, maybe you can join the
14 and
league.
2.
Yeah, I've never done that.
Maybe
I
we'll
should
do
look
a
into that.
league and then get some of
Yeah.
our.
We should.
I like
you know,
that.
people
I
on
just
there,
like
too.
if we're talking fantasy football, I just like to say right now, thank you Todd Gurley and thank
Oh,
you Antonio
gosh,
Brown.
Antonio Brown.
That was thank you. Oh my God, I had so many injuries last year. I can talk forever about my fantasy experience last year and next year. I mean,
So we'll have to
this
do.
year,
Maybe we'll do a league and get some of our fans involved too. Or
for
something,
sure.
too.
I mean,
Yes.
it's gonna be a good year this year. I'm very
is.
cocky. Let's just say that.
So we are a little bit over time, but we had to talk a little bit about some of the
Yes,
stuff that was kind of
yes.
in dire need to talk about. But I think that's it, and
So good.
We'll get into more baseball, more football.
It's all gonna come up.
and then
LeBron opened up a school.
Yeah,
Yes, promise school.
It actually is really nice.
So good.
I like it. I like it. I really
Jalen
do.
Rose had done it already, FYI.
Yeah,
So
sure.
LeBron wasn't the first. You
Yeah,
know,
to
I'll
say
make
that.
I had to bring it up
Well,
because I
I'm,
didn't
just
want
saying,
to
I'm just saying, like, Jalen didn't get all the excitement. I mean, I'm just saying that he did in
Sure.
Detroit, and I'm just letting y'all know. Like, he
Jalen
did
Rose
it.
is
He
not
did it.
LeBron James.
He did it before LeBron did. All right, we will be back next week with another weekly
Gotta
pass.
get
Thank you
LeBron
so much
talking.
for joining us. I'm Bonnie Joe Laughlin,
I'm Becky Sotero.
David Bloom.
and we will see y'all next week.
Bye, guys.
See ya.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.